Hey guys! So I'm writing my first novel on a vintage typewriter, and I thought I would share some of the highlights of typing a book on a typewriter. I have spoken to several of my family members, and when I share with my friends or family that I'm typing on an old typewriter, my young friends that are my age think it's really cool. For those who've lived through the typewriting phase, they don't think it's as interesting or practical. But for me, I want to have something tangible like a typed manuscript on a typewriter, with little notes in the index and the margins and mistakes that I had to type through, and because you don't capture those things when you're typing on an actual laptop. And I want to have something that I can give to my kids, because at this point in my life, writing my first book is probably my greatest achievement so far. And so I want to be able to share that with them, because we don't have kids right now, and so they're not being able to experience this process with me. But one day I want to be able to tell them about it, and I want to have something that I can give them, hand to them, and that they can, pass down. And it may not be a bestseller, but, how many people do you know that write books for a living? So, writing a book on a typewriter is not practical by any means. It does not have a backspace. It does not have a tab. It does not have an exclamation point. You have to do an apostrophe and come backspace and do a period. And I don't mean it doesn't have a backspace. Like, you can backspace, but there's something there, so it doesn't erase what's behind it. And it doesn't have a number 1. Oddly enough, apparently they didn't think that putting a number 1 and a lowercase l on a keyboard, they just thought that was repetitive. If you want a 1, you have to do a lowercase l. None of those things I knew going into it, but I found this gorgeous little typewriter, royal typewriter, at an antique store near where I live. And oddly enough, I found this adorable guy who used to work for Royal for like 40 years that lives 10 minutes from where we live. And so I took the typewriter to him, and he did this amazing job restoring it. I have this lovely little typewriter, and it's a really fascinating experience, honestly. I did not grow up typing on typewriters. I had one when we were kids that it was a piece of junk, but it was still fun to pretend. The process of putting the paper in, feeding it, and then being able to hold on to the work that you've done and take it out and read over it and make notes or edits. You have to learn to type on it. It's not just like typing on a laptop. You have to hit the keys pretty hard in order for them to hammer hard enough for the ink to show up. So all of those things were things I had to learn myself, and I'm still learning how to do it, how exactly to do it. But I would recommend it for those who are looking to start their first book. Again, it is not practical, but it is definitely inspirational and fun. So if you're looking for something to get you motivated to start writing, maybe buying a vintage typewriter is for you. It's just a piece of history, and being able to write a historical piece of fiction on an old typewriter, makes you feel like you're part of the process, and it puts you in the moment more. And also, there are no distractions. Not like a laptop where you've got instant messenger popping up and Facebook posts and an endless sea of information that you can get lost in on the internet. When you're typing on a typewriter, that's all there is. It's just you and the typewriter. And for me and the place that I'm at right now in writing, that is amazing, and I love it. So I would highly recommend it. And I'm going to leave the information for the type of typewriter that I have. I'd love to hear from you if you're thinking about typing a book on a typewriter and what the process looks like, or if you collect typewriters or own one. Leave me a comment or send me a message. I'd love to hear from you.